Hello and welcome. Before we start, make sure to tell yourself what's good today. For me, it's my new favorite pair of running shoes, the Puma Deviate Nitro 2. Yes, these are my favorite pair of running shoes of all time. Okay, to be honest, these are my only real pair of running shoes I've ever owned. I only recently got into running and I started off with a pair of Adidas Ultra Boosts. Right here. I thought they looked really cool. They're the same colors of my favorite soccer team, LAFC. I love wearing running shoes because during production days, I'm on my feet all day and I am not young anymore. I never owned a pair of high-end trainers and I didn't know anything about them, but what you don't know can hurt you. I ended up getting peroneal tendonitis on my right foot. Anyway, I thought my injury had something to do with my shoes. Those Adidas do have a lot of cushion, but they're kind of considered more like a lifestyle shoe. They're not categorized as a running shoe. So I watched a ton of reviews on the biggest channels and every single one of them rated this shoe one of their tops for 2022. So I was like, hey, if it's good enough for them, I'm gonna give it a try. So I went out and bought a pair and everything they said was exactly right on. These shoes are awesome. These are Puma's max cushion shoe. It's got 38.5 millimeters of foam in the heel and 30.5 millimeters in the forefoot for an 8 millimeter drop. Which is weird because on the Puma website, it's listed as having a 6 millimeter drop. So either the stats are wrong or someone at Puma miscalculated. It's got a carbon infused plate, which you can see right here, sandwiched between a full layer of Nitro Elite foam and their regular Nitro foam. This is the first time I've ever worn a plated shoe and it's definitely kind of strange for me. If I had to make an analogy, it's kind of like you're standing on spoons because you can feel the shoe rocking back and forth just as you're balancing your weight in there. It's definitely a little strange, but once you get going, that rocker shape kind of forces your feet to turn over really quickly. It launches your feet each time you take a step, so I thought that was pretty cool. It's a neutral shoe with a breathable upper mesh and it's got extra padding and grip around the ankle to prevent heel slip. I like this mesh. It's kind of interesting because it has sort of like this worn out look. It goes from really worn out to less worn out, so on some of the parts you can actually see your sock coming through. But I guess that's good because it lets in all that air. And I picked this colorway because it reminded me of the school that my kid goes to. If you take a close look, it's got the colors of the German flag, which is where Puma was founded. And there's also power tape along the medial side to give you a little bit extra support. On the inside, you can see that it has a gusseted tongue, which I don't think I've ever had a shoe that had that. The gusseted tongue kind of gives you like, I don't know, like a corseted feeling around your arches. It feels really like your arches are getting like a nice big hug and it kind of like keeps them like locked down. So I kind of like that. And finally the Puma Grip outsole, which everyone says is the best. That and like Continental, which my Adidas have. They offer a lot of traction and there's quite a bit of it. So I think it's gonna last for a really long time. The first time I took these shoes out was probably about a week ago and they felt really good. They're not crazy soft or plush like, I don't know, a fur-lined shoe. Not that I own any fur-lined shoes, by the way. But compared to like my Adidas, which felt more like you're stepping into a pair of compression socks, these kind of just feel like more like a regular shoe. I didn't feel any friction anywhere around my foot because I'm always worried about new shoes if I'm going to get a blister or not. But these felt great from the beginning and definitely didn't have any sort of rubbing anywhere on my toes or my heels or the sides of my foot. I would definitely say that these fit true to size. And here is the cool thing. These shoes are so freaking light. These shoes weigh in at 8.75 ounces or 248 grams for my size 8.5 men's, compared to my Adidas, which are 11.08 ounces and 314 grams. That's a huge difference for me because I'm not a very fast runner, so any little bit of help I can get, I'll take it. Like I said, I'm just getting back into running. I wasn't able to do anything for about 2 months, and I happened to buy these about a week after I got injured, so I've been dying to try these out. And as soon as I put them on, they felt great. Just to give you perspective, my long runs were about 5 miles, and I've taken these guys out twice now for a little less than 1.5 miles each time. But I immediately noticed a difference in the bounce compared to my other shoes. They felt responsive and lively. I'm not sure how long the foam will maintain that feeling. I know some avid runners like to retire their shoes after about, 500 miles. I think for them, they can tell that at that point, it kind of loses the original feeling, that lively, bouncy feeling, and so they like to go on to their next shoe. But if that's the case, that's going to last me close to a year because right now I'm only running about 12 to 15 miles a week. So I am going to be enjoying these for a long time. And even though these shoes aren't cheap, they're $160, I think it's definitely worth the price, at least for me, because I know I'll have these guys for quite a while. Well, I hope you enjoyed this review from a sort of newbie runner. I hope maybe some of the things I said will help you make your decision on whether or not you want to buy a pair of these for yourself. If you already own a pair, let me know what you think about them in the comments below. And I'll see you next time.